Redding, California, and wonderful, wonderful guests. Why don't you introduce yourself to the camera?
Hey, my name's SolarSteve, everyone. How y'all doing?
Tell people that are on the other side of the country about Shasta County, about Redding, and what's the deal here? What's the problem here?
I think the first thing that people in other parts of the country need to understand is that you have to look past the California myth. You know, down in Southern California, LA, Hollywood, San Diego, even San Francisco, that's what people think of when they think of California. Up here, this is very rural up here. It's very laid back. You know, you don't have the city skyscrapers. You don't have the huge financial districts and the huge shopping districts. And the, you know, this is just a very sleepy, laid back, touristy, recreational type of a location.
But you were in construction, you're feeling the effects of the downturn.
A lot of, yeah.
Tell people about the effects, the general effects down here.
I would say probably just a quick estimate, 50% of the construction workforce down here is out of work.
Oh my God.
50%. A lot of these guys are self-employed too. That's the Starbucks I work at.
Oh great, so you work at Starbucks?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of unusual. Going from construction to working at Starbucks?
Yeah,
a lot of my listeners don't like Starbucks, so what's your thoughts on that?
It's okay not to like Starbucks. You know, sometimes I don't like it either. And really for very different reasons than probably most people. I see the people that come into Starbucks for their, you know, venti caramel frappuccino with just a gallon of caramel sauce in it, and just the people that come in 3 times a day for drinks like this and spending $15 a day on Starbucks, you know, and acting like it's their cocaine habit or something. I mean, it gets disgusting with some people, you know, and then the temper tantrums they throw when they don't get it. It's just unbelievable.
So it's understandable why people don't like Starbucks. But what's your thoughts on working at Starbucks as a part-time job?
I think it's a solid thing to do. It's a steady company, yeah, just like everybody else. They've had to make some changes. They've had to close a few stores. They've had to lay off a few partners. You know, but Starbucks is holding on. I frankly haven't seen a slowdown in our store at all.
Wow. So 50% of the construction workers are laid off.
Right.
What are they all doing?
Well, that's anybody's question.
Well, you know a bunch of them.
I think, well, I don't know all of them, but the ones that I do know, you know, they're scraping around trying to do small little odd and end jobs for people, maybe people that are trying to take advantage of some deals and maybe do a little remodeling. Maybe they're doing some energy upgrades to help save money on their energy bills.
Yeah, that's something I'd like to comment on. People always wonder, like, when's the collapse going to come? What's going to happen with the collapse? And for these construction workers here in California, the collapse has already come. It's not some glorified crap hits the fan scenario.
Yeah.
It's like meager getting by, trying to get gas money to do a job here and there.
Anything that required credit liquidity has suffered. You know, certainly that's going to be in the building trades. You know, people operate on credit. Major industry, which we really don't have around here, but you have to understand that this area really doesn't have a lot of major industry like you would see, you know, in, say, the Midwest or Chicago or places like that. What we did have is a very big lumber industry. You guys need to start paying attention to what you're doing on a daily basis. Honestly, you don't have a lot of time to screw around. You need to be educating yourself as to how to better fend for yourself, or at least have the resources in place so that maybe a group of people are contributing to each other's success. For example, because I'm not swinging a hammer all day right now, I've learned how to garden. I've learned how to renovate my own place and save a lot of money in labor. I've got 175 feet of potatoes in this year. I've got 30 ears of corn going. I've got about 10 tomato plants. I think, hey, maybe this is a good time to go out in the woods and practice a little fieldcraft. Learn how to start a fire if you had to. Learn how to recognize wild edible foods.
Because people keep asking me about the collapse, and what I keep trying to tell them is the collapse is here.
It is.
It's already here. I mean, if it gets any worse than this, I mean, it's going to be like a civil war or something. I mean, right now, the basic portions of the collapses is you lose your income sources, and you've got to fend for yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, firsthand experience. You know, my mother has gone through various downsizings and
and she works in the medical field.
She works in one of the two major hospitals in this town, it's absolute chaos going on there. I mean, she's been able to hang on, but her time is going to eventually come.
Her income was cut by 40%.
That was 6 months ago.
So that's the type of thing you're going to see, guys, is you're going to see your companies start downsizing, and they're going to cut your income, cut your hours, and make life harder for you too.
Right. But see, you're expected to be able to make it. They don't care. They absolutely don't care. So if that's going to happen to you, you got to try and figure out ways to take what resources you do have and be able to leverage that as effectively and efficiently as possible. Future events and everything, you got a lot of people saying this is going to be the summer of rage and all of this stuff, and the total collapse, and George says the collapse is already here, and I tend to agree with him. I really do. I mean, it's underway. You've got taxes, you've got power bills, you've got insurance, you've got car payments, credit card debt. Is that independence? I mean, ask yourself, really, is that independence? You see this? This will kill me if I allow it to. I know this. I have enough knowledge to know that I shouldn't be smoking, that smoking's bad for me. It does everything. There's really no part of it that is good for me, but yet I continue to do it. Why am I addicted to consumerism? Why do I have to have all these things? Does it really make your life better? Or is it just something to do? I mean, do you feel like you just have to keep up with the Joneses all the time? Just because they get a new SUV, now you have to go out and get a Hummer. I mean, it's ridiculous.